Well, today's interview was with our new defensive coordinator, and I couldn't be more fired up about it. Last year, as defensive coordinator in Eastern Illinois, his defense led the nation in FCS in turnover margin and top 20 in so many categories I couldn't even keep track. So, with all that said, today's interview was with Southern Miss new defensive coordinator Clay Bignell. And Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm fired up about this interview.
Oh man, you tell me. I can't wait to see what you do, man. You're one of them
Yeah.
young up and coming minds in college football. And I saw one thing that was a great quote by you, kind of your defensive philosophy to attack and create chaos.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
how you going to do that and bring the nasty back into the nasty bunch?
It all starts up front, stopping the run, like attacking linebackers attacking downhill, stopping the run. And then you got to create chaos with, affecting the football. Like we talk about turnovers as the process of creating turnovers, not just, hey, go get an interception. It's the process of creating, ball disruptions, ripping at the football. So like that's the chaos that we talk about all the time. Like where you're affecting the quarterback, making his job hard. You're getting after the football and guys flying around, playing physical and fast.
Oh, I love it, man. When I hear attack and chaos from a defensive coordinator, man, that gets me all fired up. Now, Coach, that came from probably some of your days of being a hell of a linebacker at Montana State, a two-time all-conference selection. How is some of that kind of linebacker tendencies, tenacious tendencies you had there carried over into coaching?
Oh, I mean, like playing linebacker, is that all that mentality and all that stuff, carries over into being a defensive coordinator because it starts with stopping the run and being physical up front, and all that stuff. So like that stuff is in your DNA, and you get all that stuff like playing linebacker. You're in the mix, you're in the fight, so you kind of carry that over into your coaching.
Oh yeah, we're gonna vibe, Coach. I'm an old linebacker. You're younger
Yes,
than
sir.
me, but we're two old linebackers right here talking
Yep.
defense, man. So, and one cool stop in your coaching career for 4 years, from 2016 to 19, you were a defensive assistant at Notre Dame, and the
Yeah.
2018 Cotton Bowl you
Yes,
coached in,
sir.
which was a college football playoff. How
Yeah.
was that experience, man?
Oh, I mean Notre Dame. I mean, I've had a lot of good stops, and I've worked for some great defensive minds. And starting at Northwestern with Mike Hankowitz, who is old time ball coach, who's a heck of a coach. And then my stops at Notre Dame, I got to work under Elko for a year, and then Clark Lee for 2 years, and kind of build that defense. And Elko, kind of brought it in, and I was working directly underneath him, so I got to learn a ton from him. And then when he moved on to A&M, like I got bumped up into that senior analyst role, and got to help work with Clark Lee building or keeping evolving the package. So I learned a ton there, and we won a ton of games, had a ton of success, and there was a ton of we had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, one thing I like about Notre Dame, there's not a lot of middle ground with fans. You love them, you hate them. They're one of those teams. I tend to love them. Give me
Yeah.
touchdown Jesus and all that stuff every day,
Yeah.
man. So I love that stuff.
Oh man, and you know what? To be honest, growing up in Montana, like it was kind of I was kind of indifferent to Notre Dame, and then man, once I stepped foot onto that campus, I was like, okay, this is what the hype is all about. It was a special place. Like that was one. Me and my family, we had a ton of fun there.
Oh yeah, man. They're one of my backup teams when Southern Miss might not be playing. I'll watch the Irish for
Yeah,
sure. Now,
yeah,
Coach, last year at Eastern Illinois, I mean, you made a tremendous impact as defensive coordinator in your first year of doing that there. I mean, you guys were ball hawks, like I said earlier, number one in the nation in
yeah.
turnover margin. What are some coaching techniques you taught your guys to get the ball back?
It's creating the habit of affecting the football. Like we talked about creating the chaos, like it's building those habits. So like it's all the time I'm thinking about getting the ball back. I'm punching at the ball. I'm ripping at the ball. We're hitting the quarterback. We're getting our hands up. Those are where you get your turnovers is punching at it, ripping at it, tipping the ball. You tips and overthrows, and then when you get the chance, like you got to make the play. So we always work those in unit drills. Like we hit it all the time, like where we run a, takeaway circuit. So like it's always on the guys' minds, so they're always constantly thinking about it. We're always talking about it, always harping on it, and that's how you create the turnovers. And we had guys bought in and we had a ton of success with it last year,
Yeah, it is a mindset getting the ball back. I mean, it's just nonstop being drilled in your head. I love it. Now, Coach, you run a 4-2-5 defense with today's spread
Yes, sir.
offenses. Why and what makes that so great?
You got to be able to, field based, being able to get aligned and letting the guys play fast. And then, up front, you got your 4D linemen who can control the run game with your linebackers. And then you got to be able to, change things up and be able to change the look on the perimeter, for the perimeter screen game, for all the RPO looks, today's college offenses create a ton of stress on you. So having an extra DB on the field allows you to be more multiple in your coverages while still being solid up front in the run game.
Yeah, and one fascinating aspect that just happened, I guess, in the national championship game was seeing Michigan kind of go back to a little bit more of that kind of pounded, down your throat kind of team.
Correct.
But your philosophy, you could adjust to that quickly, correct?
Very easily, like because and teams are getting more or back to some more of that 12 personnel stuff. So the 4-2-5, it's very easy to put an extra linebacker in there, and now you have a 4-3. And you're still able to stop the run in the 12 personnel, against 12 personnel teams, because teams are, it's funny, it's cyclical, and teams are now getting back to more of that, ground and pound and line up and try to run the football. So with that structure, it's very easy to get to that. And then now you can get to all your, big personnel stuff by adding a linebacker out there, and nothing else changes for, the other 10 guys. You're just adding a bigger body to be able to fit the run.
Hey, Coach, this may not be a fair overall question, but I mean, because you got a game plan weekly for whatever offense you're playing, but from maybe just a mean number, what percentage of the time would you like to blitz in a perfect world? At least one guy coming.
In a perfect world, like if you're talking like base downs, you're probably about 33%. Like you're going to play your split safety coverages, a third of the time roughly, and then you're going to play, some sort of single high, and then you're going to pressure probably about a third of the time. And then once you get to third down, now you're going to ramp up that pressure a little.
And Coach, in your defensive playbook, which I'm sure your mind is a great one with defenses, there may be one or two defenses you like, that maybe a certain blitz, certain call you like the most.
Oh, I mean, you're always going to have your calls that you like the most. So like definitely have my babies that like always going to be in the game plan no matter what. But the ones that work is the ones I like the most.
Oh, I love it, Coach. And I know coaches are in a bad call you guys make. They're all good. So,
yeah.
But hey, Coach,
yeah.
Now getting to Southern Miss stuff, man, recruiting in the transfer portal have been very good to us. Shoot, today, as we record this, just got a transfer from cornerback from Purdue, man, looking good. This defensive roster, if you don't want to name names or whatever, what gets you most excited right now?
And I'm still trying to, learn everybody's name.
Of course, of course.
I don't want to name names and leave somebody out. But, the first thing, like I put on the tape, you look up front, they're big physical guys up front that really excites you. And then you got the DBs, you got long, athletic, defensive backs. So, looking at the personnel, like I'm excited about, like, and my mind is going like what all I can do, with this personnel. Like there's some good football players here, and I can't wait to get to work with them.
Oh, we can't wait to see your scheme, because you did some wonders, man, making magic happen on the defensive side of the ball in Eastern Illinois. And looking at this schedule real quick for 24, we open up at Kentucky. I think that's a really cool game. Does that a little bit more motivation for you and the guys opening up at an SEC school?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, we're all competitors, like, so you want to go play the best. So, that's a great opportunity to go to an SEC stadium and go put it on the line. Let's see what happens, like, so we're going in there to go compete and go, see what we got and see what they got.
Oh yeah, bring a nasty bunch in the big blue country, coach. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Now you get to work with head coach Will Hall, fantastic leader, just a fantastic human being. What are you looking most forward to working with Coach Hall?
Like through the interview process, and like the first couple of weeks of working here, just get to know him a little bit more. I mean, he is a football savant. Like, he is a football
Yeah.
dude. He's
In his
always
blood,
studying,
his whole life, coach. His whole
always
life.
always watching it. Yeah. And the ability for me as a defensive coordinator to lean on him. Like, we've already had conversations where we're talking about like what he as an offensive coach is seeing. I'm like, hey, if we do this, how would an offense react? So like some of those conversations are going to be huge. Like, hey, this team's doing this. What don't they want to see? Stuff like that. Like, learning from him and leaning on him, because offense and defensive perspectives are so different. So the ability to have him and as a resource in your back pocket is huge. It's only going to make us better.
Oh yeah, two football guys. I'd love to be a fly on the wall with you two talking, man. I'd love that.
Yes,
now,
sir.
hey, coach, people are fired up about you because you're coming into a place where people used to come to see the defense play, and if the
Yes,
offense
sir.
scored, that's cool, good. But we're watching some defense. So, coach, I'd love the people to get to know a little bit more about you. If you don't mind, a little 5-question segment.
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate you, coach. So, first up, what's the best bit of coaching advice you may have ever got?
I got it from my my linebacker coach when I played at Montana State. Like, after I was done playing, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I actually went and coached linebackers at an NAIA school for the first year. I was going to teach and coach in high school. I was going to get my teacher certificate, and I loved it. I had a blast. So I went back and I GA'd for him. And a piece of advice he said is, always be yourself. Like, be authentic. Like, don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to read a book and try to be like this, like this coach or whatever. Just be true to yourself, because the guys can see it when you're authentic, when you love them. And like, don't matter what you are, like, if you're that consistent every single day, like, guys will respect you and guys will play hard for you,
Oh, man, great bit of advice, too. I might relay that again to my son. I've told him that, but Coach Bignell's got some great advice right there. He's 14. So,
yes,
but hey, Coach, second up, you were one hell of a linebacker, tenacious, hard-nosed linebacker, Montana State. What were some of maybe a moment or favorite moments you had from your linebacker days?
Probably my favorite moment was winning in Washington Grizzly Stadium. Anytime you can go and beat the Grizz, like, especially in their stadium, doesn't get much better than that. Doesn't get much better than that. So, like, that would definitely be, my favorite moment. I'll never forget that one. It was like 20 below that game with the wind chill, but it was a blast. It was a blast.
Coach, you played linebacker in 20. Well, yeah, Montana, but 20 below, I would shut down, Coach.
It was cold. It was cold.
Oh, well, welcome to the South. A little bit warmer.
Yeah, a little different weather here, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Coach, real quick. Your mind's always on defense and philosophies with defense, but maybe what are some hobbies you have outside of football?
Outside of football, get some golf in, and then, most of the time it's just hanging out with the family, spending time with the family, doing whatever the boys want to do, taking them out, doing all those kind of things, like with the family. So I'd say, spending time with the family would be definitely the biggest hobby. And then it's just, watching sports and playing a little golf.
All right, Coach, speaking of which, I'll get to the next topic. On social media, you have a beautiful family, seen all the pics and 2 boys, beautiful wife. Man, give us some updates in the Bignell clan.
Yeah, well, I got a wife, Kaylee. She's been with me. She's born and raised in Montana as well, and she's been with me at every stop. Like, she's been my rock. I've leaned on her so much through this crazy coaching profession, and I've had to move her around the country, but I couldn't have done it without her. And then we got two boys, Brecken and Baylor. They're 6 and 4, and they're maniacs. They're always fighting, always wrestling.
Little linebackers,
yeah. The little one for sure is a little linebacker. We'll see about the other one, but man, they're a handful, but they're fun. They're fun.
Ooh, they're going to be fun at the Rock, man, especially when your defense starts making a lot of plays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, one last question. You don't mind a little fun one right here. What's your favorite football movie?
My favorite football movie would probably be Remember the Titans.
Oh, watched it the other night with my son. Oh, yeah.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, great choice. Well, there's a fun 5 topics questions with our new defensive coordinator, Coach Bignell. And Coach, as we kind of wrap things up, we are starving for some serious nasty bunch defense. So what's a message for the fans you might have for high expectations, hopefully, from this defense this year?
Hey, we're going to play physical. We're going to play fast. We're going to be connected on defense. And, we're here to facilitate for them. It doesn't matter what I know, like it's what the players can do on the field. So like we're going to build this defense so that we can allow them to play fast, and then we're going to be physical. We're going to run to the football. We're going to tackle, and we're going to take the ball away.
Ooh, I love those philosophies. I'm an old linebacker, like I said. I love it. Coach, thank you so much because we're so fired up about you, and I can't thank you enough for being on my show today, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you at the Rock. And I think a great way to close this show would be from our new leader of the Nasty Bunch and myself, giving everybody a big Southern Miss
to the top.
If you want to break the Rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.